Welcome to another McLoco video, and this time this is the last round of the Apex Racing League GT Trophy. This is in Nürburgring Grand-Prix with a tight chicane, and it's an all GT3 race, divided into classes. There's a pro class with fast drivers above 2.5k iRacing, and there is a amateur class which is basically below 2.5k iRacing, and I'm actually P6 overall in the amateur class after I had 2 DNFs in this
the air temp
season.
is 26 Celsius. So, okay, Dave, be ready.
The 2 best riders are actually also friends, and also one of them is a teammate.
Go! 2 litres
is
left.
Juan Manuel Calleja. He's leading, and the only guy that actually can catch him is Alain Garige, which is also a friend of mine from Switzerland. We're racing together often, he's driving in the Audi R8. Juan Manuel is in the BMW. And we have Angel Pedrero. He's also from NRT, the team that I've joined during the season. Hence the yellow and black livery with Mamma Mia sponsor, pizza, which is great, of course. And in this final race, actually, there's only a slight chance for Alain Garige to catch up to Juan Manuel if Juan Manuel would have a DNF, which of course we certainly don't want, and Alain has to defend his position.
Smith behind
just
is now
I think
0.7.
score maybe let's say about 10 or 15 points to stay in front of any drivers that is behind him. I think it's Hodgson or somebody, which is P3, which could catch him, but otherwise he's pretty safe. The same is with my position. I'm P6, and there's Alan Smith, which is in front of me now, and he could catch me if I would have a DNF. But otherwise, as long as I finish and I'm in the points, I'll be safe on spot 6. But at the same time, I've also I cannot make anything good in front without oops. And there's the first actually small collision in the chicane. That was Alain Garige in the R8, which fell back, and also Aaron Smith. So for me, unfortunately here I had slight damage. It was in front, I guess, the splitter. It wasn't so much top speed, but more the turning was kind of a little bit strange, or a little bit less than it should be actually. We do have one fast repair in the series. It's a race, a 1 hour race. So we hold on. The race will take some time. And we can fill the tank with 60%, which with a 60 liter tank, that's 72 liters. So basically, you go full tank. I mean, full tank as much as you can in the beginning. I'm always trying to go as much laps as possible, and refuel as late as possible. For me, the strategy mostly works out, and currently I'm just trying to get into flow, get consistent laps, and stay ahead mostly from Aaron Smith. There's also a few pro drivers that fell back, or that had to start from the back, and of course they will overtake us eventually, because of course they're more skilled drivers, faster drivers, and it's just a matter of time. So what my strategy is to do not stand in their way too much. Of course, I do not have to make room, but I won't fight, because that will only cost time for them and for me, and it could cause a crash. This is that kind of weird chicane, which is pretty tight. You see here, I'm not fighting, I'm just letting him pass in the inside, because this is a pro driver and he's anyway faster than me, so I would just lose time if I would battle him.
Keep the pressure on, don't give him any respite.
even so, the crew chief, of course, probably doesn't agree with the overtakes. The temperature is pretty low with I think 18 degree or 19 degree, so tires shouldn't be an issue on this track. Which could, if it's really hot, I guess you could burn the tires or just cook the tires. So, but with 18 degrees, it's well, it can.
The gap in front is increasing. It's now 1.1 seconds.
Pretty much push fairly hard over quite a length of the race, and still manage after 1 hour to have maybe 85 or even more percent left on the inside of the inside flanks of the inside of the tire where you have the most where you use the most tires. And I actually like the track kind of. It's kind of flowy some parts for me, but yeah, just the chicane is a little bit of a flow breaker or something where you lose or you win or gain time. Otherwise, I like it. Of course, it's nothing comparable to the 24 hours or any NLS track, which is much more interesting. But yeah, the Porsche actually, I think it should do fine here. I'm not sure, but I guess due to curves and to some parts where you have to accelerate from lower speed, I guess it should handle pretty well. Some parts that I think that I struggle, at least with my setup, is where where you need a lot of, or have to drive, turn in on power. That's where the mid-engine cars as the Lamborghini shine, or maybe also if there is an Audi. But I feel like my setup or the Porsche does push slightly because the weight of the engine at the back is kind of not helping there. Also, the BMW seems very quick here. There's a lot of very fast drivers that are using the BMW. Also, the leader of the AM, Juan Manuel, is also driving a BMW, and yeah, it's a quick machine, of course, a quick driver. And I guess that the drivers anyway much more the factor than the car. And I really do enjoy the Porsche. I love the sound, the way it handles. It's kind of special. It's different to other cars, and yeah, I'm just enjoying it. And it's kind of a classic. So with maybe around 10 minutes, I'm in a good position for me. We were, if you imagine, at the beginning of the season, there were 60 drivers. It was a full field, and it was kind of chaotic, of course, because some drivers also needed to know, to get to learn to know the other drivers, how they react and everything. So there were a lot of lap one crashes. Even so, they tried to say, hey, stay easy, don't rush it, don't try to win the race in the first lap. It still was just with 60 cars, it was kind of chaos, and the crashes often started in the mid or in the backfield of the Pro, and went back to, of course, to the amateur drivers at the back. This last race, this was by far the lowest amount of drivers that took place. I think it was only 26, which is really not a lot of drivers. And but according to the points, that this of course is a chance to score good points. As
the gap in front has increased to 3.0 seconds.
With the system that is that's in place in the ARL, you basically get the points for the position, and of course it's because it's split up with Pro and AM. You get far less points as an amateur driver, even P1 amateur, let's say Juan Manuel, or if it's Alain Gariget. They would only get the points that they would get, let's say they're placed 25 at the end of the race. So you only get the points for P25, and it goes back. And if the car is lapped twice, I think twice is the line up after 2 laps less than the leading car, you won't get any points anymore. So yeah, of course, it shouldn't be an issue actually to stay or to only get lapped once, or if you have a clean race then you won't get lapped at all normally. But yeah, having a clean race, that's the issue, and you won't get points if you have any incident where you lose a lot of time. The fast repair does help, but of course you need to go to the pits if you have something, and that costs time. And here, this was what happened today was something very similar, which happened to me basically in each race. I got basically punted in every race, hit from the back, and had damage, and had to erase half the race until I got to the pits and could repair the damage. Often it wasn't a lot of damage, but it was always enough to maybe slow you down, and of course also the impact just threw you back. So I guess I could have been 1 position, maybe 2 positions further if I would have.
The gap to Smith behind is increasing. It's now 4.0.
If I wouldn't have had that many incidents. I mean the DNF. There is one result that is cancelled, that they don't count. So, but still, it's 1 DNF. And I guess that's 1 position, or would have been 1 position in the league. But that would have been in front. That would maybe be a P5, but yeah, never know. So far, I have learned a lot during the league. I can see that my speed is better, also consistently. I make far less mistakes. So far, yeah, for me the league was something good. I learned to drive more consistently practice more, did focus on what to practice, and getting laps done, and also sometimes racing on tracks where you didn't have a setup ready, where you were not in a race where the car had already been. I mean, with Porsche, we did Red Bull Ring as I think a second race. And there was no setup so far, but it worked out. I just used the Watkins Glen setup, which worked fine for me. And also this track here, of course, it wasn't in the schedule yet. I think the last time it was in a race, as far as I can remember, was at the end of S1, so long before the Porsche was introduced. Nonetheless, I'm also using the Red Bull setup, Red Bull and Watkins setup, Red Bull and Watkins setup here, and it's not awesome or not great, but it's good enough for let's say 157-ish, 157 lowish round, depending on the fuel and how I'm driving it. And for me, I can fight, or I can compete with the other amateur drivers. It's also nice that a good part of the amateur drivers are pretty bunched up and quite strong also, around, let's say, between 2k and 2.5k ish. Of course, some of them will have to move up after this season, as the next season will have a cap. It will be split up between Pro and AM, and 2.2 above is Pro, basically. There had been some incidents earlier in the races where amateur drivers, some got in the way of pro drivers that were lapping them. They not quite know how to handle the traffic, but yeah, things happen, and yeah, they're basically also here to learn. But I guess also for the pro drivers, it's better if it's split up, and if they can have the race really with let's say a bunch of faster cars and faster drivers.
The gap to Smith behind is now 4.4.
So now looking at the race, my goal for here was actually to stay in front of Smith. As I said before, he's a direct competitor, a fast racer. I think 1-to-1. When you are in a race, he was most of the time a little bit faster than me, and now I'm also struggling because I've got damage, and I can feel my turning is not quite right. It's just slight. It's not a huge amount, but it's enough for somebody that is close, and to see the difference and to feel. So he can catch me. Possibly, but he was also involved in a crash, so I guess he will also have some damage, and yeah, let's see what we can do. Of course, my goal is to score as much as possible, even so I know that there's no chance to catch the guy in front, and also as long as I'm in the race, Aaron Smith cannot catch me because I'm scoring points. But still, we fight for honor, and that's everything. And basically, I think the 1 hour races they seem to be quite similar as a let's say a stint that you do in an endurance race with these cars. Even so, you fill the car up with 120 liters, and you go about 1 hour with a full tank until you have to refuel. And here it's just okay. You go out with 72 liters, and you refuel, and you fill in that let's say the amount that you need to. Excuse me, to complete that full hour. So it's basically similar, just with one stop. And the fun part for me, I think, is the pit stop. If you can stay behind somebody and maybe also save fuel, at least with the amateurs, you can overtake people in the pits, and you can also catch up to people just with good fuel management. Even if you're not super fast. I'm kind of, let's say, from the 2K drivers upwards. I'm one of the slower guys. I'm also on the 1.9K currently, but let's say for the other drivers that are 2.2, 2.3K drivers, they're slightly faster, and especially Anna and Hodgson and Juan Manuel, of course. It's still a margin that I need to practice, need to get faster. But that's why we're here. And at this time, this was kind of not a lonely race, but it was I had to concentrate. I could drive alone. It was about lapping consistently. Actually, something that I kind of like sometimes, not always. I also like chasing cars where you can just follow. It's easier. But this here was also good. It was after Spa kind of easier for me. I felt after driving six 1 hour stints in Spa, I felt like it's actually easy. This is just one. Let's say one stint, and I just need to keep it clean.
The gap to Smith behind is now 3.2 seconds.
Not make a lot of mistakes, or no big mistakes, and keep the pace high, or keep the pace up. Also, a nice thing is you actually feel the difference in how the tires kind of feel, and also if you overshoot them, and if you And also the fuel, the car with let's say 20 or 10 liters, it just feels more nimble, and it is slightly nimble. Of course, not as much difference as in an endurance race, but from 72 to, let's say, 10 liters, yeah, you can feel it. That's very good in the car. Guess that would be maybe about 55 kilograms, I'm not sure. But certainly something that changes the handling. And also, as we did Spa last week, I did practice a lot of Spa. I did not practice this track at all. I just started 2 days, basically afterwards on Monday, and with the first few laps on Sunday evening. The race was then Tuesday, so it was basically really just 2 days, finding a setup, getting used to it, trying to learn the track, kind of. I had a league race on this track, but with a different chicane a while ago, maybe 4 months ago or longer, so I did know some certain parts, but that was in the Lamborghini, and of course I was then at maybe 1.4, 1.5 I rating, so maybe also different. So I think I am faster now, and I can ride more consistent now. Especially I try to use more of the track, which of course is also time always that you gain if you can use the whole track. Because compared to before, not yet fully maybe as a really fast driver, but of course certainly faster. And the thing is, to hit it consistently, and that's something that I feel it's really as you drive and progress, yeah, you feel more confident and can get faster, and things that would have kind of shocked you, just the car getting loose at some point, or just things that are a little bit close, you feel kind of normal now. You get used to it, and you drive like that basically every round. And while I could maybe drive at 95% back then, I can maybe now drive at 97%. I mean, that's just, I don't know how many percent. It's just an example. It's just slightly. I can go more to the limit and keep the speed and the consistency higher, at a higher speed. And I think that's the main thing. The practice. Yeah, something nice that if you could see how you basically progress and how you get better. So I think it's about 25 minutes into the race. I cannot see it from here, but 1/4 done. We're in a very good position for
the guy
us.
behind's reeling you in. The gap's now 1.2.
As far as I can see, it's basically only Hodgson and Calleja, which is in front of me. I mean, Juan Manuel anyway. Will for now at this stage he will be champion, because he's so far in front, and the only guy that could catch him, which is Alain Corrige, he fell back, and he would have to basically win this race or score maybe, I'm not even sure how many points he needs, 21 or something like that. So with the current situation, that is basically already decided. Here I let the guy pass, because this is also, it's a pro driver, and I would just hold him up and make the race dangerous for me, so I'd rather let him pass easily.
Come on, Dave, keep pushing, we might get him back.
Maybe I'm able to stay in the slipstream for a few corners, not a few corners, for straights, which will also benefit. maybe one thing different than in the official races, of course, is that you don't get any safety ratings, or you don't lose any safety rating if you do off tracks and stuff. But there is I think a 15 incident limit. So after 15 incidents, you get a drive-through penalty, and yeah, that means you kind of try to balance between being fast and not using up all your incidents. And unluckily, I had to, I think in the first 1 or 2 races, I got hit twice with 2 times 4x, which was 8, and had a few off tracks, and I had to do a drive-through penalty then, which again costs you some places. And but in this race it wasn't an issue. I got 1 4x at the beginning when I was hit from behind and pushing the other guy in the chicane. But other than that, yeah, we're pretty clean, and that's good for the end, because then the more incident points you still have that you could use at the end, you can use the slight off tracks to be a little bit faster in certain parts of the track. And now looking back, the ARL Smith has now really caught up to me, and again here
Smith is closing in. The gap is now 0.8.
Yeah, 0.8. At this point, I said I'm trying to do lap kind of quick, but I don't want to fight because I don't want to lose time in front. I want to fall back, and with a damaged car, I will not fight yet, because for me this wouldn't help at this point. I would endanger my race from making a mistake, overdriving or so, or maybe our Smith could also, hit me. Of course, not on purpose, but
okay, Dave, don't let this guy distract you.
Could have an incident. So what I'm trying to do right now is just lap as fast as possible. But if he really catches up and is faster, I would let him pass. And I thought I would, if that happens, use a slipstream maybe, just to save a little bit fuel. To maybe, and I don't want to have him too long too near, because of course he could save fuel. At least that's what I would do. Save fuel, then do one more lap with the saved fuel, and yeah, gain a position maybe like that. Yeah, don't hit the chicane that well, and let him pass at in the inside. And again, this was on purpose, really not wanting to fight, and I just thought, no, just follow him a few laps, even if he's quicker, save fuel, and at least having to refuel less if we go into the pits at the same time. I think the Lamborghini has quite a good fuel economy. Not even sure so far, but normally I guess he should be able to do the same amount of laps. That's why I will try to stay behind him and just save fuel and run my lap times. And I just thought maybe I can catch him later on again if I'm lucky, or after the pit stop when I'm coming out in front maybe. Then we'll fight. Then we'll push and we'll go full speed, but not it now.
The gap to Smith ahead is increasing. It's now 0.8.
And I think new with the new slipstream physics, I think it's only about 1.2 seconds that you still have slipstream, and after that it doesn't help anymore. So but I could feel that he's slightly faster as long as he keeps it clean at this time, and I just hope that what I felt was really the damage from the impact, and that it would go away, because of course I've set the pit stop to automatic use of the fast repair. So if you go into the pits, that fast repair would actually clear damage, and that I should be a little bit faster afterwards again. Because as I felt that the front wasn't gripping that much, and it was slightly pushy, or pushier. But we'll have to wait and see. And what I also like to do is sometimes with these things, if you let somebody easily go, but you still have in mind, hey, you can catch them, or you can fight back. It's like a joker that you still have in your hands.
The gap to Smith ahead is increasing. It's now 1.6 seconds.
The other guys will feel safe and will not maybe push that hard, or just feel like they're in safety. But then after the pit stop, you're suddenly there and will be able to fight back, and it's harder, to push back then. If I'm then suddenly faster again. But yeah, it could also be that Aaron Smith has damage, and that he will be faster also after the pit stop. But we'll see. And we're now at 35 minutes, and this will be now interesting to see when the cars will go in for the pits. And by the way, Alain Garichet did something very good in this race. He had damage, and he did complete the laps that he had to before he could go into the pits. He did an early an undercut as soon as it was possible, and he had to fuel save at the end. That was pretty funny, because we were in Discord and we were talking to each other to hear him talk about how much he has to save. But actually a brilliant move and a very good recovery. But you'll see later. So he went into the pits, he refueled, and he's now having a fresh car and is able to to catch up. And I mean, he's got the speed. He's basically almost as fast as Juan Manuel, which is the fastest driver, or the two are
the gap to Smith in front is now 1.8 seconds.
The two are the fastest drivers in the amateur class, and he can catch up. As you can see, I'm still in pretty near distance to Smith. He's not able to pull away, or only a few tenths of a second. And that is good. That is important, for the pit stop. I wonder, if somebody hasn't got the perfect pit stop, or maybe is refueling too much, or has burned too much, let's say, not fuel saved. I've been saving a little bit now, and normally my driving style isn't so fuel consuming, or you could also say I'm slow. But yeah, normally I do always catch up in the pit, so I'm looking forward to see what happens next. Temperature has been raising a little bit to 20 degrees track temperature, which makes it a little bit warmer, but still in a very good condition. It's very fast.
car behind is catching. The gap's now 6.5 seconds.
And if I look now at the board, I'm still on P4 with Smith in front. Even that would be good. It wouldn't change anything at all, but of course we want to have more. It's the last race. The goal would be to get a P3. That was what I was thinking at this point, and I was really just looking forward.
The gap to Smith ahead is now 2.7.
I was really just looking forward to the pit stop. At first, I wasn't even sure if I should first undercut because of the damage, but having only slight damage wouldn't have made sense for me. I think I would be caught in traffic more. And here I can drive freely, so I guess the couple of tenths I can use them at the end because it's only one position anyway. And he wasn't able to pull away, which was for me, which was nice to see. I think this was Wiggins that joined in after the pit stop, but I think he's a lap back already. But I'm not even sure. No, it's a Porsche. No, sorry. Another racer which was also quick, was also around 2.3k, but it has a similar color, but it's a Lambo, not a Porsche. By the way, I'm sitting a little bit further back right now to the screen, and the screen is only a small part, or it only shows a small picture on the screen that I'm looking at. That's why I cannot quite...
The leader, Newman, is pitting.
I cannot quite see the details as text or numbers. And also the car, I cannot clearly see it's a Porsche, but not at the beginning. So, pit stops have started. Let's see if Smith is going in, but the leader has been going in, so now I guess...
That's 20 minutes to go.
I guess some might go in, and if you look at the fuel, it still shows enough fuel for another lap for us.
Alright Dave, you're reeling. Smith in. The gap is now 1.3.
This is of course very important. Here he goes in, and it was 1.3 as you could see before, so we're pretty close. 1.3 seconds. Let's see. After this lap I will go in. I've still got 5.2 left, and basically the whole field except for a few cars have been going in for pitting. Here I'm staying on the outside because this is a pro car, and he's leaving the pits, and he's of course faster, so no need to try to get in front of him. And with a light car with only a few liters left, just trying to get in this last lap, and then try to hit that perfect pit entry, which is also of course important. And also here to drive a clean lap. I mean, it doesn't matter if I lose maybe 1 or 2 tenths here on the lap. If you lose a second or more in the pits, that's that'll be harder to catch than a tenth or so during the lap. Okay, so I'm now going in for the pits, and I think I'm hitting it pretty nice here.
Engage limiter.
Not perfect, but nice for me, for the amateur
Box
class.
in
Let's
5,
say it like that.
4, 3, 2, 1. Box now.
So here we don't brake too late or so. Refueling about, I think, 40 liters. I'm not even sure how much it was at the time. Or 38 liters maybe. And this was for me a perfect pit stop. And if you look now,
Looks like you're clear on the pit exit.
on the right side of the screen, you can see I've been passing Aaron Smith, and out of that 1.3, I've got now, I guess, plus 2. So I gained maybe around 2.5 or 2.3, 2.2. 3.2. And when I came out, first of all, I thought I could feel that the tires are kind of have recovered a little bit, or it just felt like that.
Newman is leading the
But
race.
it could also be
The track temperature's rising. It's now 21 Celsius.
It also could also be the front end of the splitter, I guess, that was maybe damaged, which is now working again, which gives me slightly more steering. But I kind of just felt, the car, I had more confidence, and I kind of at this point I knew, hey, I will not let him overtake anymore. And we now just try to lap cleanly, try to not overdrive it, but to turn in fast laps and stay in front of him.
Okay, Dave, 15 minutes left. That's 15 minutes. Come on, keep digging.
I think this was something that he didn't, that kind of bring him out a little bit out of the plan. He thought that he was in front of me, and suddenly I'm again in front. Not only that, but we are now lapping faster than before. And I should at least be as quick as him or similar, so no easy catch up anymore.
The gap to Smith behind is now 2.0.
And really, at this point, the car just felt better than before. And I just went as fast as I could in a safe way still. I think this was about 30 minutes or so to go. I hit the 157, and then at this point when I saw this time, I knew, okay, I can lap 157s and can keeping actually behind. And then the funny thing was also he also got faster. He also tried to to catch up because he thought, hey, I guess I caught him before, I can catch him again. But nope, this time it's not so easy as before. Because with each lap we will get a little bit faster. And I'm not sure, but something that I heard from some really experienced drivers, they said the tire wear on the Lambo is basically in the rear, and that the front tires are basically not degrade, so it can get a little bit trickier with the rear. While I guess the Porsche, yes, maybe it's slightly pushier, but I feel that it's pretty consistent on the tires. It's pretty neat to drive, as the front and the back are degrading kind of, and not too much. I feel the cars, yeah, it's pretty good on tires. It does use more tires basically, I guess, than a Lambo or something, but in a way where I feel with the setups that I use or my driving style, it's not kind of getting dangerous to drive, or I do not overdrive it that much that it's that I overcook the front or the rear tires normally. And if you look at the time also, 57.5, again a little bit faster. So we're not letting him get really nearer.
Alright Dave, 10 minutes to go, that's 10 minutes left.
And as I said before, this was kind of...
The gap to Smith behind is now 1.9.
It's kind of like this is the confidence I gained with the 24 hours driving there, lapping the track, and being getting more consistent with every stint. Even so, we did practice a lot. The race itself was even better. Just after some time, you just know how to lap, and you get quicker and quicker, and you hit the certain parts of the track just more consistent, and you know where the limits are. And basically at this time, let's say 10 minutes, I just keep the speed up. He can maybe pull nearer or so, but he won't be able to catch me. I was just sure. Can't say why, but and 1:57.23. I think that was the fastest time of the race, or the fastest lap of the race. For me, I think he was maybe half a tenth faster in one lap, but earlier somehow. Not sure, but so we were basically we had a similar pace, or also basically the same pace, which for me is nice because he was really faster than me during the season, and at the end this was good for me to know, hey, I've been getting faster, I could catch up kind of. Maybe it's also the track, but also with other drivers I feel I can follow or catch up to some drivers that I couldn't at the beginning of the season. And of course we will continue. And here I made a slight mistake, went a little bit far. And weirdly, what did happen? We were catching up at this point to Hodgson, that is in front of us. We basically, it was once I think 12 or 10 seconds that they were in front or more, and now it's only 7 seconds. And this was kind of a really unfair situation. And I only saw this, or did see this after the race, and after Juan told us what happened, and we did really check the replay. Basically, there was a team driver of the same team as Hodgson, which suddenly got slower, and he's a pro driver, and he slowed down Juan Manuel, which is an AM driver, and let Hodgson catch him up. And not only slowing down would have been one thing, he also purposely braked early at some points, so it was he had, I think, a contact already in on one occasion. He was lucky, he just hit him there, and it was clearly the guy was just provoking a crash or provoking slowdowns. And yeah, you will see what happens then at the end. This was really unfair, even so Juan Manuel was
the gap to Smith behind is now 1.9 seconds.
Was clearly the leader, and was could not be beaten anymore from first place. But I guess they had in mind that they could take P2 overall if Alain is far back, and they could maximize the score by getting him a win and also getting him as far in front as possible. And of course, to me, this is totally unfair. It's kind of trying to slow down somebody, and braking at some parts is basically intentional wrecking in my eyes. And anyway, very unfair, unsportsmanlike. I mean, either you're good enough or fast enough and you can win a race, or maybe even if you have a team, if they're fast and they can kind of screen a faster driver, but not with
okay, Dave, 5 minutes to go, 5 minutes left. We're looking all right
not
here.
Like this.
Keep your concentration nice and smooth.
And in amateur level, I mean, this should be fun and not about getting unfair advantages. But yeah, back to this race. At this point, I basically wasn't thinking anymore regarding Smith and was behind me, because I knew I was just lapping and in trying to looking forward, trying to catch up to them, because I saw suddenly I'm getting closer to them, which was very weird, because they were really able to drive high 56 laps or in low 57 before. They actually should be faster than me. Also at the end, I guess he also, even with if tires would have been degraded or something, even then this shouldn't happen. So I was kind of amazed at the time. I just thought, anyway, I wouldn't catch them at all, and I wouldn't gain any place. But just to come near and get over the start-finish line near to the leaders of AM. Yeah, that is, for me, that's an achievement, and I take pride in that. For me, it's but of course, I didn't know at that time that it's some guy on purposely slowing them down. So, not really that of an achievement. So there's only a couple of minutes to go, and you will see what happens when the guy gets out of a certain chicane. and doesn't accelerate out of the chicane. In front, yeah, but we're just lapping, we're just doing our race. And even after 1 hour, the sound...
The gap to Smith behind is now 2.6. That's 2 minutes left. 2
just
minutes.
The sound of the Porsche, of that flat 6 4-litre engine, it never gets old. It's just nice. This is a great addition to iRacing. The car is just fantastic. Or super fun. And even these laps, I knew the last few laps weren't even clean, but I had a nice a few seconds, or a couple of seconds to the back. So here's something really weird happens. Oh, it's the next lap. Anyway, I knew that I had still the couple of seconds between me and Smith, and I was just taking it easy at this time and enjoying the race. I mean, of course I did enjoy the whole race, but I really had to be concentrated. I felt a little bit tired, to be honest, before the race. Didn't feel that good. Couldn't concentrate that well during the warm-up, during the few practice rounds that I did spin about 3 times, but then pulled it together in qualifying. What didn't qualify super, but it was good. And then basically just concentrated and kept it clean for an hour. Basically that's at the end what counts. And here you can see the 3 guys following. In front there's the guy that is holding them back, that is trying to get Juan Manuel to make a mistake, or to have Hodgson that is behind him pass. And of course, what kind of team does something like this? To be honest, but yeah. So currently with this, I'm here on P3 in amateur class ranking. Here clearly going out, he just didn't go on the gas, which made Juan Manuel hit the rear of the other BMW and spin out. And of course, you could see that Juan Manuel wasn't able to pass him. And what's happened now is, of course, he lets his guy pass because he needs a maximum amount of points. And this would be okay at the end, but just not what they did before. That was just, really, really bad. For me it was now P2. I was slightly slowing down in the chicane because of the yellow flag, which made Smith come a little bit nearer, but I mean I was still enough in front, so not to be afraid of anything regarding my position. Just needed to finish this lap. And by the way, the good thing, Alain Carliget was at this time already so close and behind us that he did score enough points to be 3 points on top of Hodgson, even if he would win now. And that's the nice thing about it. Trying to cheat, or even, yeah, he had a win. That's I mean, you can't be proud of a win that's where it was like this. Like, I'm not proud of this P2. It's okay, it's fine, but actually it would have been P3 when if it would have been a fair race, and Juan Manuel would have been P1 in amateur.
The gap to Smith behind is now 1.6.
So I think this should be the final round, the final lap. And what happened behind me was Smith had to go in for refueling, because I guess he didn't take enough fuel, which is kind of yeah, sorry for him. But that was weird, because I was faster in the pits, overtaking. Even so, he didn't refuel enough, which is kind of weird. So I guess I will review that to see, you know, maybe if there was some contact, something else was happening or so.
The gap in front is now 1.6.
But so at the end of the race, it was a really easy driving home. Just completing the last lap. And this is the last straight also of the season, of season 2, which will be a P6 for me overall. I mean, I was happy here. I've been with the P3 anyway. Had a clean race. That what made me happy. And these two guys in front, yeah, they know what they did. This is Angel, which was waiting here. So we lined up with 3 cars. Angel had bad luck also a little bit in the season, but also they had a strong finish at the end. So Juan Manuel is champion of the amateur class. Congratulations to him. It was really fun, and I'm happy to be in the team with them. And this is Alain Gariche in the Audi that is coming. Congratulations to him. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.